Okay, yeah, I really need to update that intro. One day I will. But anyways, welcome to another Mobile Madness video. The first one of the year, by the way, so it's good to be back to this series, which I brought it back last year, which was one of the oldest series that was on this channel. And this series I use just to talk about whatever I want to talk about when it comes to mobile games without being so restrictive when I talk about it in other videos. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the mobile games, well, technically the gacha games I am currently playing. So before I go down this list, there's a couple of things I want you to know. One, I am a casual player. So if you're looking for details, this is not the channel that does that. I just kind of tell you about how I feel about things and my progress. If you are more interested in channels that go way more in depth than what I do on my channel, go to my video Unknown Updates for December of 2024. Go to the YouTube recommendations, and in that section, I recommend some of my favorite channels that I watch for gacha gaming content. Secondly, for the most part, outside of a few exceptions, I am a free-to-play player. So most of the games I'm going to showcase, all my accounts, I have not spent any money in, but there are a couple of exceptions. Lastly, let me let you know how this video is going to work. I'm going to list all the games I'm currently playing, not in order, just going to mention them as I see them. I'm going to tell you what the game is, a little bit about the game, is the gacha system fair, and what's my status of playing the game. Am I still playing it? Is it kind of like a side game? Do I play it from time to time? Is it still installed, or have I dropped it altogether? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm actually re-recording this entire video because it was a little too long, and I want to see if I can shorten this video up. So I'm not going to spend too much time on my description of these games. I'm going to try to go through it fast, so I may miss some things. But any game I mention, I recommend you do the research yourself and look into it and see if you might want to pick it up. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to my list. The first game on my list is The Sword of Convallaria. I hope I said that right, but as you know, I'm not the best at pronunciation. So if you're on this channel, get used to it. But anyways, to tell you a little bit about the game, it's basically just an RPG tactics game. It was definitely, I mean, for me, it was okay. I mean, it was an okay game. The gacha system isn't that bad. It's okay. I think it can be kind of frustrating, but for the most part, I think the gacha rates are actually okay in this game. But as for the status, I actually wound up dropping this game because for me, it kind of got a little boring and the story kind of was a little confusing to me. I don't think it's a bad game, but for me, it just got boring at the end. That's why I dropped it. And no, it's not installed on my phone at all. Next one on my list is Gundam UC Engaged. And this game is kind of like an idle game. It pretty much plays itself. The biggest selling point about this game is that it adds additional context to storylines in the Universal Century, which it actually is pretty good. And the animation of the story mode, I could tell they put work into it. It's really, really good. And I do love the additional context that they add to the Gundam Universal Century. The gacha rates, in my opinion, they're not bad. I mean, they're good. You won't necessarily get the mobile suits that you want, but you'll definitely get URs throughout the game. So am I still playing it? No, I do pick it up from time to time. It's still installed, but it's not one of the games that I play anymore. Not actively. I just play it every now and again. But this is my recommendation. If you enjoy story and you want additional context for the Gundam UC universe, I think you'll enjoy this. But game-wise, there's really no gameplay, just to be honest. It's more like a management system. I also want to add one more disclaimer that I forgot to add in the beginning. When I talk about the gacha rates and the rates of summoning, I'm not going by what the game says itself. I'm going by my own personal feelings on it. So it's very subjective. Other people can have different experiences when summoning, but this is really based around my feelings about it. The next game I'm going over is Silver and Blood, which it honestly, you know, the theme is like Castlevania. If you ever play a Castlevania game, that's kind of what the theme and the style is like. Now the gameplay, if you ever play Brown Dust, it's my fault, Brave 9, now called Brave 9. If you ever play that game, the combat is like that. The summoning rates are, from what I played, they're pretty good. They're not bad. I definitely enjoy my time with this game. I would love to spend more time in it, but currently I don't actively play it. I play it from time to time, but I have so many other games I play over this one that's the only reason why I don't play it. But it's still installed, but it's not a game I'm actively playing all the time. But I'm definitely going to get back to it in the near future. Next one on my list is Cat Fantasy. It's a pretty good game, turn-based. The one issue I find with it is just that there's so much to do. There's a lot to do in this game. And the reason why that's a bad thing is because you could kind of get lost when playing this game. That's kind of my issue, because there's so much stuff I just forget to do that there's just a lot to do in the game. It's not bad, but it's hard to keep track of everything. Now, the summoning rates, I would say they're okay. They're not the best, but they're not the best. They're okay. It's like a C, I would say. Average. Now, do I still play the game? Yes, but not as much as I used to. It's just kind of hard to keep up with it, especially when there's so many other games out there. It's not a bad game. There's just other ones that are probably more preferable for people to play, just to be honest. But if you're into cat girls, you will love this game. Next one is the Eminence in Shadow, Master of Garden. And just like Gundam Engage, this one also adds context to the main story in the anime. For example, how Shadow Garden got their base of operation, it is told in this game. I would say if you're a fan of the anime, you'll definitely like this game. I want to say the summoning rates in this game is pretty good. You may not always get the character that you want, but you'll definitely get SSR characters. I don't know if it's called the UI, but navigating through this game is actually pretty good. It's pretty easy. You won't get lost like other games. The gameplay, there's not much to it. I would say it's mostly an idle game. There's a few things that you can do, like the specials, but for the most part, the gameplay is itself. To me, I feel if you're a fan of this franchise, I think you'll enjoy this game. I think if you're anybody else, you probably will get bored of it after a while. Me personally, I still play it, but it's more of a side game now. At the end of the day, I would say this game is solid. Probably will never be a main game, but it is still a pretty good game. Outerplane, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one. Outerplane is definitely a good game. I would definitely say it's pretty free-to-play friendly, but there is some context that I'll add in a sec. The best way I could describe this game, if you play Epic 7, I would say it's a lot like Epic 7, just with 3D model characters. The thing is, when you play this game, it can get a little repetitive once you pretty much do everything, and you will get stuck. I'm currently playing the game, and I'm stuck right now. So that's something you got to be aware of. So I recommend you go ahead and check out guides to help you get through it, because you will get stuck in this game. But the big thing that killed this game for me, and that's why I said it's pretty free to play, is they added a new banner type. And the banner type kind of sucks because it's another additional currency. There's no good way through playing the game and working hard to get the currency. You get, like, they give you drops. Put it like this. I've never gotten any characters out of those banners at all. And pretty much, that banner just feels like you gotta pay. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like it's just designed to make you spend money. I didn't like that banner. It kind of killed it for me because it kind of felt scummy. That's just how it felt to me. So, do I still play the game? Very rarely. I jump in from time to time, but honestly, if a better game comes out, I'm probably going to drop it completely. Eversoul is definitely an idle game. Yeah, because there's not really much gameplay there. You just let the characters fight themselves. You just kind of build up your characters. It is definitely a free-to-play friendly game, except for the fact that you gotta work. It's very hard to get the materials to grow, and you also need to summon multiple characters. But you can at least get one copy of a character if you summon for it, or if you put in enough work in. I've actually stopped playing this game for months because I lost my account. But since I finally got my account back, I almost have every character in the game. But the thing is that it's not that you need every character in the game. It's that you need to have multiple copies of said characters in the game to have a really good account. I would say the main selling point of this game is the story and the affinity system. But stopping with the story, my big issue with the story is that I feel like it's moving kind of slow, and I think they need to kind of speed it up. And because of that, when you go through like side stories or go through kind of affinity system story with each character, it kind of throws it off. So it kind of, yeah, it makes kind of the main story and these side stories kind of work together kind of weird. It's the best way to put it. At the end of the day, I still play the game, but it's only like a side game to me. I don't play it consistently. I just play it when I got time. I'll pick it up, play it, and then go play something else. And be aware there's no male characters that you can summon in this game. I think there's actually one that you can, but I'm not sure if he ever had a banner. He is a big part of the story, but I'm just letting you know just in case something like that bothers you. Going back to losing my account in Eversoul, if I would have never got my account back, I would have replaced it with this game, which is Starseed. And it's a lot like Eversoul. The funny thing is, and the point I'm about to make, I will have to expand on it at the end of this section, but the summoning rates do actually feel better than Eversoul when summoning for multiple copies of one character. So my recommendation, if you're going to summon for characters, make sure to only go for a select few, because if you try to summon for way too many characters, you won't be able to build up your account. Now for me, I definitely enjoy this game. This definitely is a side game I continuously play, but there was something recently I have to talk about. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but simply, they just released a banner not too long ago. As of recording of this video, it is still up. It's actually on screen if you can see it. But basically, when you're summoning on that banner character rarely ever comes out. I was lucky enough to only get 2 copies, but I had to go through so many summoning resources that it didn't make sense, and it felt worse than any other banner I summoned on. Once I started looking into things, I realized I wasn't the only one having this problem. They did wind up refunding some of that currency that I used on that banner, but after they did that, once I tried to summon on that banner again, it did feel better. It did feel like they fixed the issue. Now, how the game is designed to get light and dark characters are supposed to be harder, which is fine. But the way this was, on this character's own banner, the rates should have not been that bad. But like I said earlier, it does seem like they fixed the problem. I might go more into detail in another video in the future. I'm not sure yet. But at least from my account, the problem does seem to be fixed. But I do recommend, if you want to know more about this problem, I recommend you go look it up for yourselves, because I thought I was the only one with this problem, and I wasn't. So make sure to go look it up if you're interested on what happened. Counterside is a game I still have installed. I still enjoy playing this game, but I don't play it anymore. And the reason for that is just they had a massive update. And ever since that update, I'm kind of lost where everything is at, and I haven't taken the time to figure out how this game is played. Also, my account is 110% filled with characters. So, yeah, I need time to clean that out too, which I've never done it. The gacha rates in this game are okay. You will definitely get some SSR characters, but you may not get the ones you exactly want, but you will get some, definitely. You'll get enough where it's going to matter with your account, because I got a lot of them just over time. Now, be aware, in this game, there's 3 other summoning banners. First one, there's a ship banner, there's an operator banner. Oh, to get SSR ships definitely takes time, by the way, so most of my SSR ships came from getting tickets when they had special events, but getting SSR ships is not easy and it takes time. But the last banner type is the Awakened SSRs. And basically, if you play Epic 7 and you know about the Moonlight summons, it's exactly the same thing. These characters, you can get some. I've definitely got a few. But it definitely takes a lot of work and it definitely takes a lot of time. If you're going to summon on this banner, you're going to have to target your favorites because you're not going to be able to get every single one. This banner is definitely a pay banner. Just going to let you know. You can get them. And through events, they'll give you some summon tickets to get them. But for the most part, these characters take a lot of time to get. And to get multiple copies of them, good luck. The one thing I'll say about Counterside is that it is definitely a very unique game. I haven't found one that's like it. The battle can be definitely overwhelming because there's a lot that goes on. It does play itself, but there is a strategy to things. So there are things that you can control, but it's a very unique game. I haven't played a game just like this one. I will almost say it's kind of like a tower defense, but I don't know. It's definitely a unique game. The big thing about me is that I definitely love the art style choice, and I would be playing it, except with the new update, I'm just kind of confused with the game. I do enjoy the game. It's just I don't play it as much because I'm just lost when I play it now. Now, there is a lot to do with this game, so this would be a main game if you pick it up, but it's actually not bad. It's actually kind of streamlined. And if you play it enough, you kind of figure out what you have to do. So I would say if you're an old person coming back and you're willing to relearn the game, or if you're somebody new picking this game up, I think you'll enjoy it. Echocalypse. There's not much I could say about this game. There's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot. Very easy to get lost. There's so much to do in this game. Character designs are good. The gacha system is okay. I would just recommend don't try to summon on every banner. Just summon for the characters that you want. I don't want to say this is a bad game because it's not a bad game. It's just not a great one. You're really here for the art. This game, I personally like to call it an idle assist management game. That's what I like to call it. That's probably not what it is, but that's how it feels to me. Be aware this is another game where there's no males to summon for. And one recommendation, it's not an adult game, but I highly recommend you don't play this one at work. The next game I'm going to talk about is a similar game, which is Haze Reverb. And this one has a premise I never heard before. Basically, you lead a team of women who grow into giants to face different alien invaders that kind of remind me of the Starship Trooper bugs. Hopefully this isn't too confusing, but the reason why I brought this up is because I don't think I ever heard of a concept of using giants as a main characters archetype, or the main subject of summoning targets, because this game is based around giant characters. I don't play this game that often. It's actually okay. It's not bad. I pretty much will say it's a side game. That's probably the best it will be. The art direction for the characters is probably not going to be everybody's favorite. But I think if you're a fan of Brave 9, I don't think you'll have an issue with it. But at the end of the day, the game, I would still say it's an okay game. But if they have a similar game with a higher quality of animation, I may drop this game for that one. But if you are looking for a game that you could pick up and play for 30 minutes, this is the one. Oh yeah, the summoning rates, they're okay. The next one is Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, or Exvius, I don't know how to pronounce it. War of the Visions. This one definitely is a main game that you must put time into. I'm guessing if you're playing this game, you're probably a Final Fantasy fan, most likely. So the best thing I could compare this to is Final Fantasy Tactics. If you're into tactics games, you'll like this one. This game has some of the best summoning rates out of any gacha game I play currently. This game takes a lot of investment, but it is a good game. I actually do enjoy it. The story is actually really good. The one thing though is that you will get stuck, and it does take time to build your characters up so you can progress through the story. I finally got unstuck because I came back during their anniversary and I was able to get an 120 level character because yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of investment. But it is a Final Fantasy game, so it makes sense. I definitely do like it. The only thing I don't like about it is also some of the animation of the characters are reused, and I kind of hate that. Like when you summon, they do the same poses. I hate that they did that. But beyond that, I think it's a really good gacha game. But understand, this is gonna have to be a main game because it needs a lot of investment. Oh yeah, let me answer this. Yes, I do still play it. I just play it every now and again because there's other games I give my investment to, but I do come back to this game pretty much all the time. And the summon rates are actually really good, but the caveat is it takes a lot of time to build your characters. This next one I'm bringing up is only in beta, so I won't go too much into this one, but it's Etheria Restart. I think that's how you pronounce it. Another one I'm unsure. The first thing I'll say is that I definitely like the look of this game, and it's a turn-based game, and I like turn-based games, so I'm happy about this one. I hope when you start the game, at least for the first month, I hope the currency drop is as good as what it is in the beta version of this game, because it definitely drops a lot of currency so you can summon, and I hope they do that in the actual game. I don't know if they will, but it does help. As for the summoning rates, again, this is beta. It's actually pretty good, but it's only been, what, 1 week since I've been playing the game, and I'll bring it up again. It's in beta, so take that with a grain of salt. There's not much else I could say except there's definitely things to do. I will say it probably will be one of your main games. I definitely like the designs of some of the characters that you could summon for. It does have a Moonlight summoning system, just like Epic 7. You could also get those Dark and Light characters in a regular banner. I would showcase the one I got, but that file got corrupted, so here's my first Dark character that I summoned for. So on screen, this is the summoning session for that. At the end of the day, there's not much I gotta say. It's still in beta, but from what I played so far, I'm definitely going to pick this up once it actually comes out in the full release. I got 3 more games to go over, and this one is a game that I'm just getting back into this month after rage quitting for like the 50th time. And that is FGO Fate Grand Order. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Out of all the gacha games that I played, this probably has some of the worst summoning rates I've ever played in any game like this. But that's the reason why my saying is I could only play one Fate Grand Order game. I can't play 2. If any other game has rates like Fate Grand Order, I will not play it. I only got 1 in me, I don't have 2. The other thing is, I will say this game is definitely dated. So I want to make this a little bit personal. If you're a Fate fan, I could definitely convince you to play this game, and I think you'll find enjoyment in it. But let's say you're one of my friends, and if I was to convince any of my friends to play this game, most likely I'm going to get a phone call of at least 2 or 3 of them cussing me out. It definitely isn't a game for the faint of heart, and it definitely takes time to get going. The 3 main selling points of this game is it has a strong community, it's based off a very popular anime series, which is the Fate series. This is actually part of that universe, but it's in its own timeline. And third is the story. And I'm going to say this right now. It takes a minute for the story to pick up, so you got to give it time, just so you know, before it starts really getting good. Also, you will get stuck. I'm just going to let you know right now. I've gotten stuck multiple times in this game. You will get stuck. This game is mainly about story and lore. So if you like the Fate series, you'll like this game. Maybe? Because this game lacks a lot of the features that are found in a lot of modern gacha games of today. It definitely can get annoying to go through the gameplay. I'm not gonna lie. It does get kind of hard going through the gameplay in this game. But I still play it because I'm a fan of the Fate series. I'm a huge fan of Type Moon. And that's why I stick with it. Okay, that's a little bit of a lie because I have rage quit multiple times in this game. But I always come back mainly because I watch the show or I watch a YouTube channel going into the lore. And it always brings me back to playing FGO. That's the truth. I'll say this. If you could get past the beginning of the game and get past a lot of the roadblocks and you want to be part of a gacha game that has a really good, strong community, I think you'll find a lot of enjoyment in playing FGO. The next one on my list is the game I actually picked back up after rage quitting FGO for like the 55th time. And that is Epic 7. Epic 7 is probably one of my favorite games on this entire list. And I'm always playing this game. I did stop playing it for a while because I got bored. But after dropping FGO for a while, I was able to get back into this game. And I still enjoy it to this day. I love the character design. I love the animation. I love the artwork. I love the design of this game. With the updates, now that I'm back, I feel like the game is definitely a lot better. Since I started playing this game till now, the summon rates have definitely got a lot better. The Moonlight summons are still not the best, but they at least give you opportunities to get Moonlight summons, so at least you have a chance. You may not get 5 or 6 of them throughout a year, but you could probably get at least 2 or 3 Moonlights if you're willing to work for them. A lot of those you gotta work for. At the end of the day, I still recommend Epic 7. I think you guys should check it out. I think you'll enjoy the game. They definitely put care into this game, and it shows. It has a strong community. I even got a couple of my friends into this game, and they definitely enjoyed it when they could play it. Now, this is the last game I want to talk about because this is the first gacha game I ever played in my life, and one of the few gacha games I actually spent money in. Technically, it's the most money I ever spent in a gacha game, and that is Fire Emblem Heroes. And I can understand why a lot of people may not like the art direction. Even I'm not the biggest fan of chibi art, just to be honest, but it still is a good game. I wouldn't say it would be a main game, it would probably be a side game. But basically, if you play Fire Emblem, the actual game, this is basically a watered down version of that. The gacha rates are amazing. Now, you will not, unless you pay, gonna get every character in the game, but I will say this, you will get a lot of them. And if you work hard enough, you will even get the target characters that you're going for. Be aware, in this game, you definitely summon for different variations of characters that you might already have. But that's not really a big deal, so I wouldn't worry about that because there's so many characters in this game that having different variations of different characters, it doesn't matter too much. But I'll admit this game definitely has its favorites. But be aware, there's a lot of characters in the Fire Emblem franchise, so if they're not represented, probably in the future they will be represented somehow. Heck, even antagonists from their main games, you can have join your army. The story is definitely good, I definitely enjoy it. Although I think if it was longer and they had more time, it could be better. But understand this is a watered down Fire Emblem game. They do have characters behind a paywall, but it's not really a big deal. Trust me, whether you have them or not, you'll be perfectly fine with the game. But this game has so many characters, you will find your favorite, I guarantee. Now, I can't really speak on the community because I haven't really looked into it in a long time. I just play it from time to time. They have a lot of modes that expand the game. They have a lot of events that expand the game. They have a lot of additional content that add more ways to play the game. It's just a really good game. I think if you could get past the art direction, because even I'm not the biggest fan of the type of art that they chose, but if you could get past that, then I will admit that this is a really good watered down Fire Emblem game. Especially for people who like Fire Emblem and don't have time to play a full game. Okay, after going through this list, I'm probably not going to be dropping any games unless something really good comes out. Now with that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out this channel. If you made this far, I appreciate it. And if you don't mind, on your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button to help grow this channel and grow this community. Alright, y'all have a good one.